X, the 10-year anniversary of Your Home of Wrestling Radio continues. Monday Night Mayhem's official YouTube channel. Myself, the Big Mosh, along with the chairman of the board, Todd Vincent. Gentlemen who go back a decade with the man. That's right, we're all getting old together. It feels like a high school reunion.
You're getting better. I'm getting great better at what you're talking about. I got a fine line.
Possibly soon to be, this upcoming Thursday night again, TNA Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. They got their thing going on with the phenomenal AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, the following of Christoper Daniels.
Physical fascination, Frankie Kazarian. Why are you so negative? Possibly, maybe. What is all this nonsense?
You've reinvented so many times in the past decade.
Could you go get me a glass half empty of water for crying out loud?
So pump up the positivity here on Monday Night Mayhem. Guys, you know what? First things first. You go back to old school days, college radio, 10 years.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
It's been a wonderful ride for Monday Night Mayhem and for TNA. Talk to the fans, the Mayhem Nation, just the past 10 years. You guys have been with TNA for almost.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when I first started with TNA, which was 2003, and one of my first interviews after I started was with you guys. And at the time, I think you're talking about myself and Chris Sabin and Ultimate X and all that. Yep. And then I became a frequent visitor, guest of your show, and you know, it was honest to God, it sounds cliche, but it seems like it was yesterday, man. You know, here we are, and see your guys' growth, and you see us celebrate our 2-year anniversary, which nobody thought they'd ever see. It's pretty awesome, man, and it's pretty awesome that, you know, at the top of the card, you're seeing guys like Bobby Roode, Christoper Daniels, Kazarian, guys like that who've been there since day one, so it's just a cool thing all around.
Chris?
Yeah, man, my experience with you guys really wasn't through TNA, it was through the base brawl stuff that we were doing right here. And that was always a lot of fun.
Shout out to Chris Hill if you're watching.
Chris Hill if you're watching. We brought a lot of talent here, a lot of TNA talent, but also a lot of guys that weren't with TNA as long, guys like Sabu, guys like Teddy Hart. I had some really good matches with Joe and AJ here, had a lot of fun. Bobby's just going to walk
Excuse me, I'm sorry. No big deal, Bobby.
Please be rude, bro.
Thanks, Champ.
Thanks, Champ.
God's gift. But yeah, thanks for that.
Okay, this stuff's gotta go. It was one of those, you know, I was happy that to come out here and do baseball stuff. You guys were so generous to let me be on your show, and now you guys are 10 years in. So is TNA. Craig Jenkins is 10 years in. He's about to drive this thing away, get his stuff around. You guys some guys are busy.
Craig Jenkins carries a bottle of hot sauce in his pant pocket.
Yeah, I think it's to spice up this water because regular water isn't spicy enough. But anyway, like you were saying, man, 10 years of TNA, 10 years of you guys. I mean, it's a big deal. Congratulations all the way around. Mostly to me, but
yes. Could you something a little more pertinent, a little more current? You know, if you go back 10 years, I'd say wrestling in general, tag team wrestling was doing very well, and you know, in other places it's really fallen off. You know, if a fan wants to see tag team wrestling, really the place to see it at a national level is with TNA. You know, you guys are renowned for, you know, single stuff, but now you're just ripping up in, you know, the tag team division. Just tell people what it is about tag team wrestling that really fires you guys up and gets you just going.
Well, you know what, we're like just kind of continuing what TNA had put on the map as far as having the stand-up tag team division. When you look back in the past several years, you go back to teams like AMW, go back to Triple X, you know, you go back to Motor City Machine, like one of the best teams around, Beer Money. Those matches were, you know, just amazing. All we're doing is putting the Chris Daniels Kazarian spin on it. And you know what, we're renowned for our singles work, especially here in TNA, but we've known each other the better part of 14 years. So the chemistry's there. And you know, the mutual respect and the friendship. And you know what, right now, when we're on our game, there's nobody better than us, and we're just begging teams to come to TNA at this point.
And the truth of the matter is, the reason that Frankie and I are such a good tag team is because we know that we put our egos to the side. It's not about me first or him first. We know it's the team first. And if we put the team first, the team will flourish, the team will succeed, the team will get over. And so that's our mentality, is to make the whole better than the sum of its parts. We're trying to make the team the most important thing, and that's been our focus when we went to TNA and asked them to put us together. That was the whole point. Let's make something great out of it. Let's become the next Beer Money. Let's be the next Motor City Machine Guns, because we can do it and we can outdo it. And that's what our goal is right now. We're going to get better.
Oh, hey, yeah, good.
Yeah.
So that's our goal.
Like him.
That's our goal right now, is to try and get as good, be talked about in the same sentence as Beer Money.
Now I believe that you're going to be, I believe you're going to be your straps back. In that vein, you know, as champions, if you had a dream match against any team from any time frame, no matter when it was, who would you want to tangle up with?
Ooh. Jumping Bob Angels.
Yeah, definitely.
Impressive.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I was always a huge fan of British Bulldogs. You know, they were like that was the be-all end-all for tag teams.
And me growing up in North Carolina in the Mid-Atlantic territories, my end-all be-all would have to be like the Midnight Express. And you're talking about any combination, but really the combination that I loved the most was Sweet Stan, Beautiful Bobby, Jim Cornette. That was Midnight Express. They did stuff. And that's a perfect example of what we're talking about as far as putting the team ahead of either single wrestler. Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, they were the well-oiled unit. They were the epitome of the tag team. And that's what we aspire to be. If we can get a tenth as good as the Midnight Express, I'll be thrilled.
Also, another shout out to two guys who are incredible singles wrestlers, but at one time were a great tag is Edge and Christian.
Absolutely.
Those are two guys that are perfect examples of guys that are both incredibly talented singles wrestlers and were great as a team, which is kind of what you got right here.
True, and of course, again, Thursday night, the gold could be around the waist again of the phone to Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, stop with the could.
Let's say
well.
will. Let's say will.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's say will.
Getting back to the
let's just
core
agree
things
to
here.
agree that
I agree to it.
We already talked about the fact that you guys have reinvented yourselves. Talk for the Mayhem Nation, if you could, about working with Kurt, working with AJ. 4 well-oiled machines. I mean, can we see you guys on The Young and the Restless next? Days of Our Lives. You guys have been clicking on all cylinders when it comes.
You know what I mean? All
must-see TV.
All drama aside, you know, I mean, it's people are invested in what's happening. All drama aside, when you get AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian in the ring, you got 4 guys that have honed their craft for many years and that respect the wrestling business like none other. And you got guys that are going to put their absolute best foot forward and give 100% every night. And we all we want to do is represent TNA and that's what you're going to get.
Of course, I mean, you get guys like AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, 2 of the top wrestlers in the world. I mean, if you go out there and have a bad match with them, you shouldn't even be in the wrestling business. And our goal is to get out there and have the matches that the fans remember at the end of the night. We're doing house show loops with these guys, and we want people to leave Buffalo going, did you see Kaz and Daniels versus AJ and Kurt? Do you know what the best match of the night was? AJ and Kurt versus Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. We want them talking about that from Slammiversary because you know they are. You know they are. Slammiversary, we stood out, and we've been standing out. We will continue to stand out.
Destination X on July the 8th, Chairman, pioneers of the X Division. You know, really, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that. You know, Austin putting this pay-per-view on the map. It's going to be Austin and Bobby Roode for the TNA World Title. X Division memories over the past 10 years. What can the fans expect of Destination X in closure?
You know, just what they've grown to respect from the X Division in the last 2 years. You know, the same X Division that we started, the same X Division that, you know, that brought you the first ever Ultimate S match, that brought you the Unbreakable 3-way with Samoa Joe and AJ, probably the best match in the history of this company. You know, basically, in a roundabout way, the X Division is the concrete that was laid for the foundation of this company to build on. And, you know, this year just so happens that Austin Aries, the champion, gets a crack at Bobby Roode. And I think that's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to it. And you know, every Destination X, especially last year's when they kind of reformatted the way it was done, it never disappoints, and I don't think this year's going to be
Absolutely. The X Division has always been about bringing action to the fans, actual wrestling action to the wrestling fans. Well, we put all the pomp and circumstance aside, all the pyro, all the storyline. When it comes down to it and the bell rings, TNA is the best talent in the world. And the X Division has been a cornerstone, a tentpole of that talent roster. You talk about guys who went from X Division champion to world champion, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and now you have Austin Aries, who very well could be the world champion in a month's time. That's absolutely possible. He is on that style of role right now. He is firing on all cylinders. And as good as Bobby Roode is, as much momentum that Bobby has, Austin Aries is probably one of the biggest threats to his title right now. And that's just one match out of many. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, we will be at Destination X. We will be doing something spectacular and worth seeing, worth going out of your way to see. You can guarantee that whatever happens, you'll be talking about what we do.
You know, I got a little quick follow-up with the Ultimate X, X Division. You know, it's something that is really unique and stands out, within a total non-stop action wrestling. you guys have both been participants. You've both been in every sort of match within it. Where do you think they could go further past where it already is at this point?
From a pure concept point of view, I mean, they maybe put the Ultimate X inside the cage. I mean, I don't know what other, I mean, there's been guys, and selfishly when I say guys, I'm talking about these two fine-looking lads that have taken really a good amount of risk in those type of matches. It's always kind of been like, can you top this mentality with those type of matches? They're very, very, very dangerous. I would personally like to see maybe a few less Ultimate X matches per year, maybe 1 or 2 at best. But concept-wise, I'm not sure where else they can go.
And yeah, you know what? I sort of get upset when I hear where does it go from here? Why does it have to go anywhere? No one's trying to change the ladder match into something different. No one's trying to change the cage match into something different. The Ultimate X match stands alone as a concept that TNA invented and TNA perfected. There's no going further with that. And so, I mean, like, what are you looking to do? Are you trying to have a wrestler die in the middle of the ring? Like, do you need the Ultimate X 40 feet above the ring, or do you need it on top of steel spikes, or do you need the whole damn thing on fire as it's going down? The Ultimate X stands alone as a marquee matchup. No matter who's in that match, you know that the Ultimate X is going to deliver action. So as far as, I don't think going forward is a question. I think it's making it mean something. I think it's making it special, less of them, and making it build. Let's build to those matches so that when it happens, you know something exciting is going to happen.
So essentially to the fans that want to go further or mention it, they should just appreciate it for what it is.
I think we can all agree that the Ultimate X match is the coolest original concept match that the professional wrestling industry has seen in the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
After the ladder.
Absolutely.
So I mean, just enjoy it for what it is, something unique, something you don't get to see every day, and something that usually involves 2, 3, 4 incredible athletes.
And death-defying risk.
Yep.
I mean, I'll tell you personally, the last Ultimate X match that I was in, I almost died. I landed on the top of my skull. Like, do I want 10 more feet added to that? Do I want a harder, like, do you want to just take the ring out of it altogether and just let me land on the floor? That was one of the toughest matches of my life. So going further, to me, it sort of insults the Ultimate X as a concept. Like, why does it need to go any further? It's exactly what it should be. It is a contest between athletes who are willing to do anything and everything to win that match. And it's not just about wrestling, it's about being an athlete and getting what you need to get done.
And I don't think anyone that's never been in those matches can appreciate it. I mean, I was in the first ever one, and we literally, the setup wasn't even built. It was kind of a flawed design. I told the story before. We literally went into it blind. We had no idea if the truss was going to hold. We had literally no idea. It was nuts. And until you're up there climbing the truss of the cables, you really can't. There's no way to describe it. So I think it stands alone, and it should stand alone. My only critique would be let's do a few less a year.
The only place for the Ultimate X may be into space. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong eat your heart out, possibly. That'd be pretty amazing. Again, Impact Wrestling throughout the summer, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Spike TV. You've grown up with them over the past 10 years, Mayhem Nation. Fallen Angel Christoper Daniels, and there's a joke somewhere in there, and Frankie Kazarian. He loves his Pop-Tarts, but he loves his Metallica even more. Again,
now, I love my Pop-Tarts when I was working at Stop and Shop and I was a poor lad going to wrestling school.
This is how long we've known this.
Yeah,
yes,
the old
yes.
Pop-Tart story, yeah.
Well, again, Mayhem Nation, we are returning to the airwaves on August the 6th, the WrestleView Radio Network. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Field of Mayhem, facebook.com/Monday Night Mayhem, and facebook.com/Field of Mayhem. These guys are following us on Twitter. Twitter's worth. Guys, appreciate the time. Back at it with more Mayhem in the next couple weeks, guys.
Bye, everybody.